Hey, what's going on, Guardians? My name is the Black Link, and in this video, we're going to be covering the exotic quest for the one and only stasis weapon in the game thus far, the exotic grenade launcher, Salvation's Grip. This is a quest that'll drop for you from the Drifter once you've completed the main Beyond Light campaign. Additionally, you'll also want to have completed the Empire's Fall post-campaign quest from Variks as well, as this is going to unlock Empire hunts later on, which you're gonna need to finish the Salvation's Grip. The Empire's Fall quest isn't that hard to get done. You'll likely have picked it up immediately after finishing the campaign mission. It's a quest that will unlock the sabotage system from Variks and will ultimately end with you hunting down the Dark Priestess. So make sure you're picking that up and getting that done alongside the Salvation's Grip quest. Alright, let's go ahead and get on into it. The first thing you're going to have to do is go to Europa and kill 10 servitors and 10 captains. Now this can be done in multiple spots. Cadmus Ridge will have a couple of captains and servitors, and you'll also find that a decent amount of servitors will spawn in the Eventide ruins. Now, this is probably the most frustrating part of this exotic quest because, of course, you are competing with other Guardians to get those captain and servitor kills. So I'm going to try to give you the easiest way I can think of to get this done. For captains, a really great way to get this done is to make your way over to the Cadmus ruins and then turn left. On the left side, you can enter the Bray Exoscience area. This is generally an instant zone, so other people won't really follow you in there, and whenever you come in here, you are guaranteed to either get a captain or a servitor to spawn. So if you're really having trouble finding captains and servitors, you can just come into this area, follow the path that I'm showing you here on the video, and when you get into the middle of it, there will be a captain or a servitor waiting for you. You can just body them, leave the area, and then come right back, and that captain or servitor will respawn. Now, for me, captains spawned way more frequently than servitors, so for the rest of the servitors, I just had to go over to the Eventide ruins and basically run in a circle until they popped up. Either way, this is probably going to be, if you have bad luck, the roughest part of this exotic quest, because sometimes those servitors just don't want to spawn. You get nothing but captains. Thankfully, if you are simultaneously running through the Empire Fall quest like I said to do before, there are a couple of missions tied to that will spawn plenty of servitors as well. Anyways, once you've gotten 10 captains and 10 servitors taken out, the quest will update, now tasking you with completing an Empire hunt. And again, like I said earlier in the video, you unlock Empire hunts by going through the Empire Fall questline. So hopefully if you've been getting that done, you should be at the end of that where you take on the Dark Priestess, which is considered an Empire hunt. You can get that done to complete this step as well. Either way, you'll need to complete the Empire's Fall quest in order to get past this step. But once you've completed that Empire hunt, your next step will simply be to kill enemies with stasis abilities. This really shouldn't take you too long at all. You can kind of bounce around, look for rally flags to, instantly get your super and just go kill enemies. You can go run strikes, you can play missions, any of that kind of stuff will work. If you ask me, I say you should head over to a very specific area. If you travel over to the Asterian Abyss, you can head into a nearby lost sector titled the Concealed Void. Once you're in there, you can just kind of take out enemies without having to worry about other people around you stealing your stasis kills. Now, a great way to get this done is to whip out the exotic Traveler's Chosen if you have it. With this thing, you can just get a couple of kills, activated special ability, and instantly get your abilities back. It made running this really easy. It took maybe 2 or 3 runs of this lost sector to actually get this step done. And believe me, there's another reason why you should probably be running the Concealed Void lost sector. Because when you get this step done, once you've gotten enough stasis kills, you're going to need to head back into the Concealed Void lost sector to meet up with a liaison from the Spider. So if you just run this lost sector to build up your stasis kills, you won't really have to travel too far. Anyways, once you've gotten to this step, you'll be tasked with meeting the Spider's associate in the Concealed Void lost sector. Basically, you just need to completely clear the sector. Once you've beaten the final boss and opened the chest, you'll notice the Spider's liaison right next to it. Speak to him and he's going to give you some coordinates and unlock the final mission. Now, no spoilers for what's going to be happening in this mission, but it's essentially the reverse of 0 Hour. But by running this quest, you'll eventually come into contact with the Salvation's Grip exotic and then use it for the remainder of the quest. Anyways, once you finish this up, beaten the final boss, and cleared the mission at hand, congratulations, you will have officially earned the Salvation's Grip exotic stasis grenade launcher. But your final quest step is to return to the tower and speak to the Drifter to get all of this said and done. But there we go, Guardians. That is how you can get your hands on this brand new exotic weapon. The first of its kind in terms of the new stasis element being added to weapons. So let's take a quick look at how the weapon itself works. Salvation's Grip ultimately, of course, comes with the Cryo Cannon ability, where you hold to charge and release to fire. This weapon's projectiles will create stasis crystals and freeze nearby targets. This pairs up with its exotic trait, Flash Freeze. Charging this weapon increases the freeze radius and amount of stasis crystals created. So basically, like I said in our previous exotic first look video, you treat it a little bit like Jotun, although it won't fire automatically. You just hold this thing up and then you release it whenever you're ready. The longer you hold it, the kind of bigger radius of stasis ice is going to be created when it detonates. It's great for encasing multiple targets in stasis energy. Say you want to use stasis while you're not using the stasis subclass, that's what this gun is going to be for, so it's fantastic for that. Damage-wise, well, I haven't had too much time to play with it, but it's definitely not a DPS weapon. This is a utility exotic through and through. You're not going to be dealing much damage with this at all. Again, your big utility is going to be using it to access stasis maybe when you don't have a grenade or don't have a melee or aren't using the stasis subclass. And while it's definitely useful for freezing large numbers of maybe lower level enemies, ultimately you're not going to be dealing too much damage to them. You can basically out DPS this thing, out damage things by just using a regular rocket launcher, or if you want to do ad control, Trinity Ghoul is still the cream of the crop when it comes to that. So in that sort of vein, Salvation's Grip, while it has a neat ability and will be useful for a lot of stasis themed missions that you'll have to do a little bit later on, may not be especially useful outside of that, at least maybe not until you unlock some of the enhanced stasis abilities, with aspects and fragments as you move on. Again, this is just a first impression. I've only had a couple of hours to play around with the gun, so don't consider this a full review yet, and I do expect it to get a bit better as you unlock the catalyst for it, and of course as you continue to upgrade your stasis subclass. Remember, the process of getting those extra stasis abilities and aspects and fragments doesn't even begin until after the campaign, so we're knee deep in that kind of stuff right now. But alright, Guardians, there you go. That is how you can get your hands on the new exotic stasis grenade launcher, Salvation's Grip. Hopefully this guide helped, and hopefully you didn't have to spend too long looking for those darn servitors. Anyways, how do you feel about the Salvation's Grip? You got any great ways to use it thus far? Be sure to let us know down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed the video, feel free to drop a like, make sure you subscribe, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date with all the latest stuff we're putting out. That's it for this one. Thank you all so much for watching. And as always, I am the Black Link. You Guardians, stay frosty.